Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.
So today we're going to be installing a flywheel on a 2021 YZ250X. Here are some of the tools we're going to be using. These two are kind of optional. We got some gray RTV and a little engine lockup tool. You can get by without those, but using the proper tools helps a lot. We got a flywheel puller, some sockets, torque wrench, Phillips head screwdriver, crescent wrench, and a 17 mil. That's just to hold this tool down. And of course we got our flywheel here. Let's get started. So to get started here, we're going to want to come over to the left side of the bike. You got this flywheel cover right here. We got 5 Phillips head bolts. We're just going to want to loosen all these guys up. They can be tight, so I do have that impact driver over there. Already got these guys loose. You shouldn't have to worry about removing the shift lever, but let's pop this guy off. Okay, so there we go. We got the flywheel cover off. Don't be alarmed if there's some oil in there, and you can't really see it, but that's just from the factory. They put a little bit in there to keep things lubed up. From here, we have a couple options. You're going to want to take this nut off, and what I'm going to do is pop the spark plug out up top there and put that engine lockup tool in. Of course, if you don't have that, you can just use an impact on this guy right here, but we're going to want to get this nut off next. So we just got this nut popped loose. I got my engine lockup tool in there in the spark plug hole. Just needs to be hand tight if you have that. What we're going to do next is pop this nut off, and we're going to thread in our little flywheel puller tool. As you can see here, here's the nut. It is a 17 millimeter, so that's the only socket you'll need to do this job. Here's our puller. And this is just going to be a left-hand thread here. I'll show you guys in a minute once I get this set up. Left-hand thread, and then this little back portion here is going to push it out. Only got one extra hand here, but as you can see, I just got this stock flywheel popped off. I was a little concerned because these threads on this Tusk puller only go in about, I don't know, 3 millimeters or something, so you don't have many threads in there, but I just threaded in. It's left-hand thread, like I said, and then you just go opposite on this back nut here. And not too much pressure, and it just popped right off. And so now we can go get our new flywheel, do a little comparison, and throw her on. Okay, so here's the two flywheels side by side. As you can see, this the GYTR one, a good bit heavier, and you got some little weld points in there. That must just be the extra weight. Here's the stock one. One thing to note on there, you see that little key at the top? You also have a little key right on the shaft here. I'll try to get you guys in a little bit. There's the key on the shaft. You want to make sure that's oriented. It'll click in. I'll show you guys here in a minute, but you want to orientate this right, push it in, and that should seat it properly, and then we'll get the nut on. So I just got this flywheel pushed onto that little slot. Another thing to note here is that behind this nut there was a little washer that came out. I guess make sure that you get that off of this one, the stock one, if it's still on there. I put it back on, pretty sure it calls for it. And what we're going to want to do now is torque this nut to 40 foot-pounds. There we go, just got her torqued down. I was skeptical with that 40 foot-pounds. It felt a little weak, so I wanted to double check it, so I used my other torque wrench here, but she's torqued down, 40 foot-pounds right there. That's basically it. You got your flywheel on there. You can go ahead and pull your spark plug piston blocker, and we can throw this cover on. Now, an optional part of this job, if you want to do it, and this is just my recommendation, is to throw a little bit of RTV on there. It does come with a gasket, right, as you can see right there, but I don't think that does a good enough job of keeping the water out. You can see guys pull these off. Years down the road, there's rust in here, so if you're going to be pulling this off and on a bunch of times, I wouldn't do this, but for my case, I'm going to throw a little thin bead on both sides of this gasket, and you can even see some oil saturation coming through there. I just don't think it seals that well. Plus, with these little Allen screws, you can't really get it that tight in general. So I'm going to throw a thin bead of RTV on both sides of this and the gasket here, and throw these bolts back on and put this cover back on, and we should be good to go. There we go, just got everything buttoned back up, torque these down, nice and snug. 2 lug duggas is all I did, so you can see I put some RTV on there. Just gonna go around and clean this up here, maybe push it into the cracks a little bit and just make sure it seals good, just because when you're sitting here power washing the bike, you're gonna be directly going onto that crack, and if there's just a gasket there, water can go in there, or if you sink your bike in a lake or river or something like that, water's gonna definitely get in there. So just a precaution I made, little RTV, not gonna hurt anybody. Other than that, pretty seamless install. I also got the Apex head on there, so that's pretty cool. I could have did a video on that, but that was when I was originally building the bike. So let's go test this flywheel out and see how she rips. Your zone, but okay, Cat! Behind me, we got Marco here today on the drive through. Pipestone, Montana. That's not bad. Nice little single track today. Testing out the new flywheel. And this bike is running fucking amazing. New GoPro mount. Using Jason's GoPro 09. Hopefully it looks okay. I'm loving every second of this trail. I think I'm in second gear right now. You can just hear it. It just wants more. And that's pretty low second gear right there. She just lugs, man. Oh, she just lugs. washed out area. Woo! Gotta stay on this, eh? Sorry for the boys. All right. How are you doing? Oh yeah! Good boy, Marco. Come on, Chad. There he is. You already know Chad ain't getting stuck anywhere on this shit. He makes this shit look like kitty zone, man. Fucking neutral, bud. Gotta get used to that on this fucking bike. Let's try standing up, hey? Just a little tight here. Dude, this tractor's right up her, man. I'll scratch the GoPro. This is one of those trails that really makes you appreciate wraparound handguards, you know? Let's go down this technical section, eh? Let's not hit neutral.